What's up, guys? This is Mike here with Ninja Trading. Wanted to bring you a very special episode today because I've been getting a lot of questions lately. Like, hey, are we in a bear market? Should we panic sell? Should we buy? What's going on with the cryptocurrency market, right? So I just really wanted to bring you this video and hopefully protect a lot of people from getting wrecked and losing money because I see a lot of this out there, right? If anybody has been in the crypto space for the last 6 months and you're on crypto Twitter or you watch YouTube, I mean, there's maybe one or two good crypto YouTubers out there that actually knows what they're talking about, but you see a lot of this, right? The people with hundreds of thousands of followers that primarily make their money off of YouTube views, and not hating on them, nothing against them, but just following a lot of their stuff gets a lot of people wrecked because you see a lot of this, right? Like when Bitcoin was right here, it was buy. We're at $60,000. We're going to $100,000. Buy, right? Right here, you see a lot of titles that said Bitcoin is never going to be under 50 grand again. And then when we're down here, it was like, this is your last chance to buy Bitcoin under 50 grand. So a lot of people bought. And then you get down here and people are like, oh my God, it's the end of the world. We're going back to the bear market. Why don't we sell? Right. And the crazy thing is, I see even a lot of my friends who follow these YouTubers, they get absolutely wrecked because, they're just in it for the titles, which, hey, that's how they make money, man. And then it's interesting because a lot of these same people are the ones, up here that are saying Bitcoin's going to 100 grand like tomorrow, right? And they're the same people down here that's saying, oh my God, we're in a bear market. It's the end. And then, we're up here again. It's like, hey, last chance to buy. And then we're down here and it's like, hey, panic sell everything. It's the end of the world, right? So I wanted to really bring my perspective as an actual trader. So I make my money off of trading and not actually, off these YouTube views. So, and, if you don't know me, just to give you guys a little bit of credentials and, so you guys know that I know what I'm talking about. Last month, we did about 400,000 pips on Bitcoin. This month, in a range consolidation trading, we're at about 250,000 pips when most people say that you absolutely cannot trade a range and you cannot profit from a range. So range trading has made us, very profitable. And if anybody's curious, you're welcome to come into the group and, check. I give all of my entries beforehand. So this is not to brag. This is to let you know that like, hey, you're actually listening to an actual trader that knows what he's talking about with the market. I'm not trying to slam on anybody else, not trying to slander anybody else, but a lot of these people with clickbaity titles, I've just it's kind of upsetting to see a lot of people lose a lot of money FOMOing into what these people are shilling or panic selling when these people are panicking, right? To give you guys proof, let me see if I can go to my stories. So here was my last entry, posted it on our Instagram, and definitely welcome to give us a follow. There you go. Made a nice little chunk of change. Made a nice little month this month. This week. So all that's to say, look, you probably, if you're taking advice on what to do, and actually this is not financial advice, I'm not a financial advisor, but if you're thinking about what to do, maybe take your ideas, because this is all for educational purposes, maybe take your ideas from someone that actually knows how to make money in the market instead of just comes out with all this crazy entertaining video, which is great, but doesn't actually make his or her money off of the market, right? Most of those people, their game is ad revenue or affiliate links. It's perfectly fine. That's how they make money. That's how they hustle. But I wouldn't bet your life savings based off of their, um, based off of their kind of FOMO or panic methods. And this is especially important to know if you're in altcoins. Pretty important too if you're in Bitcoin. But if you're in altcoins, this is definitely very important information to you. And I'll show you why. I'll just show you the charts. I'll show you the pure numbers, and you can decide for yourself if this is important for altcoin holdings. And full disclosure, just to give you guys a background, I am a trader first, so I personally don't care if Bitcoin goes up or down. I'll make money either way. But I do have some altcoin bags that I did scale out of, and I do have Bitcoin holdings, right? So I'm still a long-term Bitcoin bull, but it's all demo accounts, no real money here, right? So I do trade my demo accounts in Bitcoin settled contracts. So in other words, my profits are and my base holdings is in Bitcoin. So I do have an extra incentive to hedge. So at the end of the day, my accounts are not settled in USD. So that's how much of a Bitcoin bull I am long term. But short term, there is some things to be cautious about, because I'll answer the question. I'll go over all the evidence on if I think we're in a bear market. But first things first, here's what you need to know about what happens to altcoins in a bear market, right? Because you can't argue that we've dropped quite a bit. So let me take a drink. Give me one sec. And we're back. Okay. So I've been in the crypto space since about 2017, I want to say 2016. So I've been through the last cycle where, I was new to the market. I got sucked into a lot of altcoins and, bought a lot of altcoins and Bitcoin's at the top, right? So let me show you guys some historical data on what happens to altcoins. So here's a snapshot of 2017, pretty much the peak of the last Bitcoin cycle, right? And a lot of you guys that are new to this market won't even recognize some of these names. Now, some of them survived. So I'll just pick out a few and I'll show you what happens to altcoins at the bottom of a cycle. Okay. So first things first, let me show you what happens to Bitcoin at the bottom of a cycle, right? It's not the greatest, but this is not the top of the cycle. 20K, here we go. So Bitcoin dropped about 84.6%. So keep that in mind. Okay. Let's just go through some random altcoins here. Here's a fan favorite, XRP. Okay. Peak of the last cycle. From all-time highs, down 96% from all-time highs. Still have another 68% to go to all-time highs. Okay, here's the BTC pair. So this is XRP compared to BTC. Let's go down the list. Ethereum, a stronger one. Okay, from all-time high to the bottom of the bear cycle, 94%. Okay, ETH, BTC. So ETH, I will say, is one of the stronger ones. But look at where ETH BTC all-time high is. Look where we are now. Okay. Let's go over what's another popular one back in the day. Tron, TRX. I think this was the Justin Sun coin. That's a good finance. Okay. Where's all-time low? 98.2%. So this is the Tron Bitcoin pair. Where does that end? So maybe I'll go over a BitConnect. We won't even talk about that one. I got wrecked on BitConnect, so I'm not even gonna lie there. I don't even know where IOTA went. Let's go Bitcoin Cash, number 3 on the list. Oh geez. Okay. Lord. 98.9%. Oh, I did not even know this. Okay. 98.2% from an all-time high of $4,300 to $75, recovered to $1,600. Oh, I thought this one was going to replace Bitcoin for the people that were in Bitcoin. Okay, look. You don't have to be an expert at trading or charting, but tell me if this is a healthy chart. Bitcoin Cash to Bitcoin chart. Where does the bleeding, where does it end? Where does the pain end? Let's go back to 2013. I mean, where are a lot of these coins don't even exist anymore, right? If you were holding some altcoins back in 2013, a lot of these coins, I mean, PPC, I think that might be the only one that's still around. The rock trading, what the heck is that? Oh, this thing doesn't even trade. Okay, okay. Let's go to maybe the other one, Bittrex. Nope, even worse. Jeez. This is the linear scale of what it looks like. So I think I've made my point. So most altcoins, I can't think of one altcoin that survived a less than 94% drop from the last cycle. From 2 cycles ago, literally 3 coins survived, right? XRP, Litecoin, and Bitcoin. So let's go to Litecoin compared to the Bitcoin pair. Okay. I mean, that is just a pathetic chart. So this is not to say you cannot make money off of altcoins. Like, I mean, obviously, like Dogecoin, right? People made a lot of people made a lot of money very quick. So altcoins are good for very quick profits. I mean, I've made some paper profits on altcoins, but I've scaled out of most of them now, as I've said. As we were coming down here, I scaled out of a lot of them. But look, this is to tell you that you have to really be careful with altcoins, and with the evidence that I'm going to show you next on if we're in a bear market or not. Definitely, I would say if you're in altcoins and you're not hedged, if you don't know what hedging is, I would strongly suggest that you learn. And I would be in downside protection mode because, I mean, I've shown you the evidence. Altcoins, I mean, no matter what kind of shiny new altcoin comes out, it's altcoins just do not survive crypto winters, right? And I'm showing you all these Bitcoin pairs because this shows you that altcoins, even though a lot of them do come back to make all-time highs like Ethereum. So, okay. If you owned Bitcoin, if you held Bitcoin compared to ETH this whole time, if you bought a 1-to-1, especially like back here at the peak. So if you bought the peak of the last bear market, you would be the bull market rather. You would be way ahead in Bitcoin. Same with every single altcoin that I've just found. Any altcoin that's gone through a whole bear market cycle does not keep pace with Bitcoin, hands down. I mean, you can leave in the comments if you found any altcoins that I am unaware of. Please let me know. So the criteria is, altcoins that have survived more than 4 years, right? And I'll happily, change my stance on any altcoins. But I literally do not think there's any outliers unless if I miss them, right? So, okay, so back to the topic of are we in a bear market? So here's the thing, guys. Because I'm a trader, I like to do things in high probabilities. So there's no such thing as absolutes, right? But we do operate and gravitate towards the high probability outcomes. But at the end of the day, you do have to have a backup plan for if the other outcome. So if something is 90% likely, you still have to have a plan for, the 10% that's unlikely to happen, but still could, right? So just to give you guys a little bit of knowledge is how I think. If anybody ever tells you, like, certainties, right? Like, you go back and look at all these YouTube headlines. This is absolutely the last chance to buy Bitcoin under 50K, right? Anybody that tells you things in certainties, I would run. Bitcoin is never breaking 30K. I remember hearing that or seeing that a lot. Bitcoin is plummeting into the crypto abyss because we had the death cross. That's a nice panic sell trade there. Okay, so a couple of myths I want to dispel, right? First things first, you've all probably seen this if you've been around the crypto interwebs. The death cross. The death cross. Okay, so let me show you guys something here, right? Although death crosses, I admit, have high probabilities of playing out, here's the thing. How how does this give you a entry or an exit from a either trading or investing standpoint, right? If so, the death cross happened right here, you would have had to wait until here to confirm. If you panic sold, we're pretty much right back to where you panic sold. And if we look at the death cross, okay, if you panic sold this death cross, eventually we came back up. I mean, COVID up was a little bit, black swan event, but they don't always play out, right? You had like a couple of quick crosses over here. So this one actually did not cross, surprisingly enough. So can the death cross play out? I would say yes, but if you just play the death cross, you're literally panic selling into a range, right? So here's the thing. We've been we've been trading in a range. Okay. It does not take a genius or an expert to tell you that we've been in a range. Okay. I mean, it's not too hard to see that, especially when you're right here. We're quite obviously in a range. We had a deviation right here. We had a deviation right there above the range, right? Okay. So if we're in a neutral range and we're coming back down to support because there was a death cross. So remember how many people got mega bearish and were panic selling because people said we would never break 30K, and because we broke 30K, they panic sold. You missed out on a lot of money here, right? Oh, I forgot to mention at the end of this. This is not financial advice, but I will give you the tips on what I would do if I was still holding altcoin bags or Bitcoin bags, right? Because of, I've shown you how severe these altcoin drops are. So, okay, so we're in a range. So how does the death cross help you? If you put in a massive short position after it confirmed on this, probably on this tick right here, where do you take profits, right? We broke down from the range. Some people panic sold because of the death cross. It just, for me, it does not help. It does not give you an entry, does not give you a target. It is what it is. Something to be, I guess, aware of, right? But you can't base everything off of this. Another myth I wanted I called this one so long ago. Where's the head and shoulders? If you saw my videos, I was saying this one is coming up. I probably mentioned this like 3 weeks ago, right? Okay. The head and shoulders. This was a head and shoulders breakout for sure, 100%. But look, if you play the head and shoulders, because this target is actually negative 4,000, which it's kind of. Can Bitcoin go to zero? Sure, nothing is impossible, right? Is it the most probable outcome? Any stock can go to zero too, right? But not very likely. So if you played this head and shoulder breakdown of 30K, if you either panic sold your stuff or you put in short orders, didn't turn out very well, instantly wrecked. So here's the head and shoulders myth. Here's the one that I see a lot, right? Or, here we go. El Salvador accepting Bitcoin. That was about right here. And then we dropped and we came up and dropped again. So, I'm fundamentally a bull, but how does that help you? If you're like, oh, El Salvador is buying Bitcoin or accepting Bitcoin, and you FOMO bought up here, probably not doing very well. Another thing, micro strategies. Here's one. Michael Saylor bought Bitcoin, so Bitcoin can never drop again. Michael Saylor also bought around 55K. Did it go lower than 55K? You tell me. Another one, right? All these, I get Bitcoin fundamentals, but a lot of Bitcoin does not always operate like, something in the stock market, right? Where earnings would have a lot more impact, or fundamentally if they hire a CEO, or if, they get sued, or if they get, something, right? Bitcoin fundamentally, these fundamentals do not affect it. Like all the China bans and all that, you don't see always the price correlation, right? A lot of times the new news comes out after the big players are already positioned. So you could find more in my market psychology video on that one. So there's the Michael Saylor one. Oh, here's the one I remember, right? You see all the YouTubers. Remember, because Elon Musk averaged in Bitcoin around 30, I think it was like 35K. Go back and look at the YouTube titles. Bitcoin will never go under 35K because that's where Tesla bought Bitcoin. So I can guarantee you Bitcoin will not go under 35K. How did that turn out? Right? So we're in this neutral range and people get mega bullish up here, like, oh my God. Like, I remember when we got up here, people were like, oh my God, the dip is over. We're going to the moon, right? And then down here, people got so bearish, like, okay, what are the next downside targets? Are we going to 20K? Are we going to 18K? Are we going to 0? Right? And then back up here, guys, 100K tomorrow. And then down here, it was like, okay. And the same people up here was like, Bitcoin will never see under 30K again. And then those same other people are like, oh, we're in a bear market. How long is this bear market going to last? You see these titles from the same guys that just, when the price is up, they're like, okay, it's time to FOMO buy. When the price is down, they're like, it's time to panic sell. Does not turn out well. One other thing I want to dispel is, okay, so hear me out on this one. The Wyckoff accumulation schematic, right? Okay, so do I believe Wyckoff works? Yes. But how does that, as a trader or investor, help you get any entries? Think about this, right? Let me pull up this this Wyckoff. Okay, we've all seen this, right? And this is not to be mean to anybody, but okay, I'm pretty sure everybody has seen this Wyckoff schematic 1. Okay. I remember people were saying this is the spring, this is the spring. Now, is this the spring? I don't know. All I know is that from technical reasons, we were logging down here, not because of Wyckoff, but for technical reasons. But if you were thinking this is the spring and we were breaking out and this was going to be the phase E or the phase D, a lot of people were accumulating up here right into our sell orders. I mean, is this going to be the spring? What if the spring is down here at 24.5K? But then what if that's not the spring and you accumulate up here and then Bitcoin drops, right? Or what if it's a redistribution? Okay. What if we're right here in the redistribution pattern and we break out to maybe 43K and we go back down again? I mean, how do you play that, right? Or here, I'll show you guys a giant Wyckoff accumulation pattern. Look at this. Okay, this part is right here. Okay, this right here, here's the spring. Look at this. Okay, now we're in the phase D, we're in the SOS, and the whatever this one called, and we're about to go phase E, right? So if you want to look at this as one giant Wyckoff accumulation pattern, okay, this is going to be phase E. The problem is I just inverted the chart. So this is so for the permabulls that say we cannot go down because of Wyckoff, look, we're in a big Wyckoff accumulation pattern. So do you guys see how you can make cases for everything? So I just want to dispel a lot of these myths. They're for memes, they're for sensational titles. They get a lot of views, and people make money off of these views. Great. So, anyways, okay. So now let's talk about what I want to talk about, right? So here's the thing. Do I think we're in a bear market? I'll show you the evidence, and long story short, I believe there's a high probability we're not in a bear market, right? But if I was heavily in alts, I would still be in downside protection mode, because I just show you what happened to alts in in bear markets. And I'll present to you the evidence on why I don't think we're in a bear market. I think we're more likely to go up from here than down, but I'll give you the conditions on what to look for to that I will change my bias and I will change the probabilities that we might actually go down as opposed to up, right? So first things first, let me go over a more of a macro time frame. And I did a video for this. If you're in my group, you probably saw this in a video, update video 3 weeks ago. But okay, here's the Fibonacci time pulls on the last couple of cycles on Bitstamp, right? So one disclaimer I do want to throw out there for Bitcoin is relatively a baby asset, right? In comparison to a lot of other things, Bitcoin is still in its infancy stages, and we haven't seen that many cycles. Bitstamp does not have, all the history, but it does have a lot of the most relevant history, right? So a lot of my macro analysis I will show you guys is based off of previous cycles. So full disclaimer, I mean, as a trader, right? As someone doing analysis, you have to go off of previous data to kind of gauge probability of upcoming behavior. But could Bitcoin have an entirely change of behavior? I would say the probabilities are low, but because we haven't had that many iterations of the Bitcoin cycles, that could be off, right? But most of what I'm going to give you is off of past cycles. Okay, so first things first, this is the Fibonacci time pivot that I've pulled. So it's marked the tops of the bull market very well, right? And I do want to bring one thing up. On the 3.618 pivot, notice how Coinbase had the exact listing on the 1.618 Fibonacci time pivot. It's not a coincidence, guys. Anyways, okay. So here's what I see in a bear market, right? Here's the signatures. First things first, because you have to remember at the end of the day, no matter what you think, retail does not control the market. The big players control the market, right? So big players, they want to make money, right? So this is zero-sum game. So unfortunately, there's only a limited amount of Bitcoin. So in order for the big players to make a Bitcoin, someone has to lose a Bitcoin. So in other words, they don't give the small guys or the retail very many chances to win, right? And here's why. If you look at the peaks, I would consider this a mini cycle within the top cycle, but look, when Bitcoin does its 80% retraces, it's very fast and furious, right? This literally happened within, I believe, a day, actually. The next bear market goes down 84%, but the first 67% happened within 21 days. So what does this mean? This is a blow off top towards the top of the bull market. The market makers do not give retail much of a chance to sell. You literally had about less than 2 weeks of time to sell the very top, right? Retail does not give you an opportunity to sell the very top. Bull trap, so this comes all the way down, bull trap, and then bam, slam down, right? Same thing. If you remember the 2017 cycle, you had, okay, in a week it dropped 43%, right? And then it dropped it 70% in 56 days. Because, same thing, blow off top, okay? The market makers do not give retail much of an opportunity to sell the top. We don't spend a lot of time at the top. There's not much of an opportunity, right? Here's the bull trap, down, okay? Here, we went down 54%, but I would argue we've been at close to the top for, I mean, from the very top, 70 days. This was very close to the top for 105 days. This was less, about 10% from the top for 126 days. You see all these parabolic moves towards the blow off top in previous cycles, and then a dramatic down, right? So this signature, both in volume and in price action, does not follow previous trends of a bear market, right? Does not show you that we're in the beginning of a bear market. Now, if this starts to go down more, could my opinion change? Yes, and I'll tell you how to spot that and prep for the downside if you do get signs of that. So that's So that's number one, right? The signature does not match any of the previous bear markets now, or the top of the bull markets. Now, could this iteration be different? Sure, it can. But just going off of history and what we can go off of probability-wise, it does not look at it. I mean, it does not look like it. And logically, it makes sense too, right? Retail had so much opportunity to sell up here. The market makers do not, most of the time, give retail that much of an opportunity to sell the very top, right? The timing is off. Second, theoretically, the end of the bull market should be somewhere at the end of December, just looking at the timing of past cycles. Could this be a shortened cycle? I think so. I mean, I don't think so. Is it possible? Yes. Is it likely? I don't think so. I think we'll still see the peak of this bull market around the end of the year. So, with that being said, those are the two main reasons why I think we are not in a bear market. I'm just looking at past, past signatures. Does that mean we can't go down? No. And then there's this other tool. Okay. I don't usually follow these indicators, but this one, you got to admit, has been spot on. It's the log growth curve. So, okay. So full disclaimer, I do not like indicators a whole lot, but on occasion I make exceptions to the rule, and you can make fun of me for this, but I mean, look at this. On the log growth curve, we have not peaked out towards the top of this log growth curve. Now, could this be a change of behavior? Again, like I've been talking about, yes, it could be, but is it very likely? I mean, I wouldn't play the odds for that right now. So, one other thing. This is not part of my analysis, but look how crazy this is, right? Okay, so full disclaimer, I would never trade off of an indicator like this, but just looking at the hit rate, the moon phase indicator, this this might actually be the most accurate indicator that I've ever seen, and this seems like a complete meme and troll of an indicator. But look how accurate this is. So the light phases are supposed to be the tops, and the dark phases are supposed to be the bottoms. Look how accurate this is. I mean, this one's a little bit off, but look how accurate this is hitting the tops and bottoms. This is absolutely insane. And okay, so this one, okay, was a local bottom 4 days away from the dark circle. This one that we've bought is we're about another day or two away from the dark circle appearing again. So if this ends up being the absolute bottom and we go to the moon, I might just quit everything that I do and become a moon phase indicator. Because look at this. I mean, this was a little bit early, but even if you put in a sell order with a very wide stop loss, you would have made money. So as much crap as I give indicators, ladies and gentlemen, the moon phase indicator has a very high hit rate. I mean, look how stupidly insane this hits. Anyways, I digress. So guys, Ninja moon phase signals trading. So that's the next one. Okay, so that's the gist of my macro analysis on why I do not believe Bitcoin is in a bear market. I mean, you can say all the fundamentals you want, but I'm looking at the technicals and it does not back it up. Now, does that mean we don't have more downside? No, but here's what I would say, right? I won't go into details on this, but about 24.5, maybe 23K minimum is, I would say, the lowest that we can go without me being concerned, right? Because here's another thing. Once Bitcoin breaks an all-time high, okay, on a bull market, okay, the next cycle, it does not come back and visit it, retest it. So theoretically, we should not retest 20K, right? Again, could there be a change of behavior? Yes. But just looking at past history, it doesn't look very likely, right? So what I would say is this, right? As of right now, so if you're in my trading group, this was a big target. This is why we long the exact bottom right here. This was a big target from January 22nd that we were looking for the liquidity grab, right? There's so many logical stop losses under this low right here that if you push price right past it, you can generate a lot of liquidity for buy orders for all those stop losses hit. So that's a whole nother explanation. But so remember I said back when we were right here and we were pushing up, I said it's not very likely that this is going to be the breakout of the range, this month-long range. And here's the thing, right? We've been in this range for a month. Can we be here for up to another 2 months and bore the crap out of people? Absolutely. But I'll tell you why that's actually beneficial for you the longer that we stay here. So we grab this liquidity. This is very bullish to me, right? Because here we went up, but think about it. If the big players are controlling the market, they have not filled their orders because they have not grabbed the stops below this 30K mark. They have not grabbed the stops below this 28.7 mark. So there's not big orders to be filled right here, right? Same thing with coming up right here. I was not mega bearish, because if you were looking at these highs that we had after the bounce, so if we go back to this range, okay, these were the highs, right around 43K. Here's why I wasn't bearish, right? I was looking for, or we were in the group looking for massive swing shorts at this 43K range or right above, because I believe that if the market makers wanted to go for immediate range break, that they would at least want to fill their big sell or short orders, grabbing all the liquidity, because logically this was the high of the bounce after the massive drop. So logically, you could see that a lot of shorts have their stop losses, which when a short stop loss gets triggered, that fills a long to, fill the order of the market maker shorts, right? So they haven't grabbed all this liquidity up here to come down. And lo and behold, right, we grabbed it. We did not break down from the range. That's why I was not panicking. We had a plan to long. We did not break the bottom of the range, and we bounced a total of 22%, which is actually insane, right? So for all the people that tell you cannot make money in a range, I mean, it's just ridiculous. We've had if you look at this bottom to top, that was a 44% bounce. This is an easy 30% range, and it goes up and down, right? So you can at least, if you don't catch the whole thing, you get 20%, 20%, 20%, 20%. That's a lot of money, or a lot of demo profits, right? So people that tell you that you can't make money in a range where they're bored, they're just not very good traders. Well, not trying to be mean. It is what it is, right? Those are facts, right? And the people that try to, always trade the breakout, like, how'd it go, right? People that were like, oh, the range is over. We're breaking out here. We're going right back up. And you're FOMO buying this. How did that go? People that were panic selling this because we're dropping back down again. How did that go? People that were panic selling down here. How did it go? People that were FOMO buying up here. How did that go? People that were panic selling down here. How did that go? So you had 1, 2, 3, call this 4, 5, 6 failed attempts at breakout trading. Or you could have had 6 successful attempts at range trading. So you decide. Anyways, I digress. So, okay, sorry about that. I am back. Needed a bathroom break. One thing that I will tell you is I am not very tech savvy. I just know how to trade. I don't know any of this tech stuff, and quite frankly, I don't really care to figure it out. So, anyways, what was I saying? Yeah. So to me, the evidence suggests that we have a higher probability that we are still in a bull market. Although, if you look at the past bull market drops right here, a lot of these don't go for over 35 days or a month, right? So you had 49 days. We are approaching, okay, we're about at the 35-day mark. So, you can make a case, and this drop was deeper than, any of the other drop, but we did rise up faster than any of the other rises. So you can make a case that we're actually mature within this range, and you can make a case that this could actually, funny enough, I just, said I wouldn't go off Wyckoff, but funny enough, this could actually be the Wyckoff spring that, gets us to new all-time highs, but there are some trappy areas, right? So here's what I would do, and this is, not financial advice with your altcoins, right? If we break down past mid 24K, I would say at the most maybe 23K, right? If we go past that, the next support is 20K, but the problem is there's literally a change of behavior and we're testing previous all-time highs, and we've never done that before in a bull market. So I think if we break down to the 20K range, that would be my condition for even past the 23K range, right? That would be, it's never good to panic sell, but if you still have alts for whatever reason, maybe consider, not telling you what to do, but if I were you, maybe consider scaling out, right? Because if we break past this range, people are like, we have strong support at 18K, we have strong support. Man, the next really strong support is at 9,000. So about $9,000 to $10,000. So if you think about that, okay. Oh my God. $10,000 is your traditional 84% bear market dump, right? So here's 86, here's 84. So look, the next strong support is at the traditional bear market percentage, right around there, between $9,000 and $10,000. So if we were to come down here, that would be the time to say, hey, maybe I shouldn't be in altcoins. Maybe I should just be in Bitcoins. And here's the thing, right? If you're in Bitcoin, I'm such a long-term Bitcoin bull. If you're in Bitcoin, I do believe Bitcoin's going to recover and go to all-time highs. If you're in altcoin, will your altcoin recover and go to all-time highs? I don't know. But what I do know is your altcoin probably will not outpace Bitcoin. Bitcoin on its recovery will outpace your altcoin most likely, right? 99.9% chance. So if we start approaching this range, danger zone. If we break 23.5 to 24K, that's when I would say be more in Bitcoin and start hedging like crazy, right? So that's my condition for us being in a bear market. But what I want to see first for that to happen, so remember I was saying the market makers probably want liquidity to go down. If we come up here and just clean break the 43K range and go, that's perfect. But the two very trappy areas I will tell you is if we do one of these down here, like up here, right? So if we do one of these at around 43K, or if we do one of these around 40, I believe it was 48 to 49K, right? So we'll call it the right under 50K range. If we do one of these and start coming down, that would be more bearish than if we just started revisiting the bottom of the range again. Because, is it out of the question that we do one of these like we did back in January, where we panic, make a low, break the previous low, have a nice bounce, come back and have a higher low and just take off? Yeah, we could do that. But I think at this point, it's more likely that we'll revisit higher the range, at least 38.6 or 36.8 first, and then maybe we'll head down. So remember, 36.8 is an important level. Around the mid 43K to 44K is a big level, and right under 50K. So that 49 or so to 50K range, big level. Those are trappy areas. So if you see something like this, I'm up here to 50K, and you start getting a decline and it starts breaking past these lows, that I would be a lot more bearish than just us coming down here right now. So that's my condition for spotting a potential what's it called? I would increase the likelihood that we're in a bear market, right? So if we reject the top of the range, grab the liquidity, start coming down, or around the 50K. Can we just take off? Sure, we can. But I would say if we come down here and find support, okay, I have 24.5 as a big area. That's still not going to look the most bullish long term because that completely, is a change of behavior from past cycles. So I wouldn't like to see that very much at all. So so now this is what I would do if I was in, a lot of unhedged Bitcoin or altcoins, right? Because we've seen how bad altcoins have done. I've been telling my group this every week. As we come up to the top of the range, this is time to think about taking profits or scaling out. As we come to the bottom of the range, this is time to think about accumulating. So, and I made videos on this in the past before, but you don't have to think in terms of 100%, right? So next time we come up to the top of the range, okay, unless we just do one of these, like green candle our way out of here, like we did right here. If we start doing one of these, rejecting, maybe like off the rejection, maybe like right here, you can start scaling out of alts, whether that's converting that to US dollars or converting it to Bitcoin as a hedge, or not as a hedge, but as a safer downside protection. You can do that. If you could sell some of it up here, next time we come down to the bottom of the range, you could do that down here, right? So I've been telling, people in my group this, and I say this every single week, like if you had done this with your alts or some of your Bitcoin, as we came up here, you took some profits off the table, even if you just did 5-10% each time, right? Accumulated again down here, took some off the table, accumulated down here, took some off the table, accumulated down here, you'll be much, much better off, right? And then this way, you're also in profits too, which hedges against some of your downside, right? Or, just start converting as we come up to the top of the range, start converting a lot more into Bitcoin. So here's the thing, right? Can you miss some of the altcoin potential? Yes, but I like capital preservation a lot more than potential upside. So I would say this is the time to be in capital preservation mode. And if Bitcoin breaks above, I would say the 55K range, then I would say you're a lot safer to convert into alt. But I won't show you on this chart. You can check for yourself. If you look at the Bitcoin dominance chart, when Bitcoin runs like this, alts do not keep up. So here's the thing: if you converted to Bitcoin to be safe, and Bitcoin took off out of here, you're actually more likely to gain more money than just staying in alts. And then once we've stabilized, maybe in the 70 to 95K range, then you could convert back to some alts. And then, because the big alt season was here, right? We had the top and then we had a secondary bounce. So when Bitcoin is kind of sideways like this, alts do pretty well. So if Bitcoin takes off, you don't have to worry about losing value because Bitcoin will outpace most of the alts, and then you can convert back here. But I would say like a lot of these alts that people are shilling, very, very dangerous right now, super dangerous, especially if my downside scenario happens. You stand to lose 95 to 98% of your current value in your altcoins. With Bitcoin, going from 30K to 10K, that's a big drop, but you're losing 75% in terms of, you're losing 2/3, right? So you're losing about 66-70% instead of 95%, right? So you're still losing, but you lose a lot less, and your Bitcoin is more likely to recover. So I would say, take some profits, convert to some Bitcoin, add on some more, because think about this. If you go like a 10-20% each time and we do this, right, for like 10 more bounces, you could just double your money, and that way you can just have a stop loss down here for half and you're playing with the house's money, right? If we do this a couple more times, you gain a little bit more in alts. Another way to protect your downside is to play the range and gain some value from it, right? Because if you're just sitting and doing nothing, here's the thing, right? It also depends on what your long-term plans are. If your long-term is to hold Bitcoin for 10 years and not look at it, don't worry about any of this. Disregard everything I'm saying. I think in Bitcoin, 10 years Bitcoin is going to be a lot higher. But if you're in altcoins, This is like, oh yay, my altcoin's going up again. Now I'm very nervous. Oh, we're going up again. Getting a little nervous. Okay, I'm happy. Getting very nervous. Okay, getting a little bit happier. And this is like, I'm gonna pee my pants, kind of nervous. So I personally would not want to be in that position, right? Whereas, look, you took some profits, come down, great. Another opportunity to accumulate. Took some profits. Oh, perfect. Another opportunity to accumulate. Took some more profit, great discount. You know, so that's my 2 cents, and that's my strategy on how I would approach this. To summarize, I would be more inclined to downside protection right now in Bitcoin. And the two major warning signs that I would see on Bitcoin are if we did a massive rejection right here, or if we did a massive rejection right here. Those are the two warning signs that I would say that really pay attention to scaling from your alt either into Bitcoin or back to USD, right? Because again, not financial advice, not telling you what to do, but at least in my book, capital preservation is key. So hope that helps some guys. Helps you guys. I know this was a bit of a longer video, but hopefully I dispelled some of the myths that you guys see on the internet, because there's a lot of, I would just say, in the nicest way possible, a lot of junk that are causing a lot of people to lose money. Because when you think about how many people follow like the mass social media and just FOMO about all up here, right? I personally talked to a lot of people, a lot of my friends even, that just FOMO about up here, and I feel responsible for not, helping them out or not getting to them early enough, and now they're sitting in massive, losses, especially in alt. So that hurts. My goal at the end of the day is to dispel myths and make sure that I can help as many people avoid losing money as possible. So if you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment or follow us on social media. Shoot me a DM, let me know any questions. But hope that I was able to help you guys. And until next time, let's crush it. Let's stay safe.